So another Amazon Prime Day is here, and I'm getting a lot of shopping lists and deal notifications popping up on my inboxes and timelines. And that has me thinking about the items and products that I used over the past year after having bariatric surgery and losing about 190 pounds so far. So in this video, I'd like to give you the top 10 items that were actually useful, helpful, or beneficial to me on my journey. I've bought and used all of these items or very similar versions with my own money, and no one's sponsoring this video. This video will give you exactly what was helpful for me on my journey and things that I really think could be useful for you on your journey, whether you're having bariatric surgery, whether you've already had it, or maybe you just want to focus on losing weight this year. I tried to include every price point, so prices will range from $7 all the way up to around $300. If you're interested in purchasing any of these items, I'll post links down in the description of the video. Some of them will be affiliate links, so if you use them to purchase your items, I will receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. It's a great way to support the channel, and I do appreciate it. So jumping in with the first item on our list, which is protein. Protein is one of the most important things for any weight loss journey because as you're losing weight, especially if you've had bariatric surgery, it's just as easy to lose muscle if you're not careful while you're losing fat. And so consuming enough protein, especially after bariatric surgery, is really vital. It's going to help with healing, and it's also going to help with minimizing the amount of muscle you lose as you're losing weight. Sources of protein that I really liked and I really used, especially early on, were the Fairlife protein shakes. Now, they have a lot of different versions of protein shakes, and honestly, all of them are pretty good. My favorite, I actually generally get from Costco, and I did find a version of it on Amazon. It's a bottle with 30 grams of protein, and it's only 150 calories. And I really like that because it's not a lot of calories for the day. It gets you a lot of protein, and it tastes delicious. It's really good. They also have the Core Power and the Core Power Elite, which have different amounts of protein, but this version is my favorite. And like I said, I generally get it at Costco. You can get it here on Amazon. I'll provide the link down below. Now, buying individually packaged protein shakes is great because they're grab and go. They're really easy and quick, and you don't have to do any prep. However, it can get expensive if that's the only type of protein that you have access to. So I like to have a good whey protein powder on hand where I can make and mix my own protein shakes at home, either in a blender or in a shaker bottle style. The whey protein that I generally use is the Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard Whey Protein. I really like the chocolate flavor, but they have tons of different flavors. I've tried a lot of different protein powders, and most of them are pretty good. This one just happened to be my favorite, so definitely experiment, try different ones, try different flavors, especially when you're in your liquid only phase, either pre or post-op. You really don't have a lot of options other than like protein powders. So feel free to go crazy, get all the different flavors, try them out and see which one you really like. Just make sure that it's a high quality whey protein and that it's a good amount of protein and you realize how many grams of protein are in each scoop. This one has 24 grams of protein in a scoop, and I'll do usually a scoop or a scoop and a half. And that'll be a really great boost of protein. The next items on the list are going to be blenders. As I mentioned, a great way that I like to consume the whey protein powder is to mix it up into a smoothie. This is going to be the priciest item on the list, but I highly recommend a Vitamix blender. I've had multiple different blenders in the past, including a Ninja, and I like them, but there's something about having a really high quality blender when you make smoothies. It just gets so smooth and so creamy, and it really does change the experience of making smoothies, especially if you're going to have it every day or multiple times a day. For me personally, I thought I was investing into a nice blender, and I think when you invest into a Vitamix or something like that, it's going to last a long time. And I just highly recommend buying nice instead of buying twice when it comes to that particular thing. I'm also going to include a smaller personal blender, which is great if you want to just make shakes on the go or smoothies on the go. My wife generally prefers this type of blender, something smaller. And so I'll link that below if that's interesting to you as well. So next on the list is going to be a stool softener. If you're in the pre-op or post-op full liquid diet, you're having a ton of protein and not much else, and that can really block you up. So my surgeon highly recommended Colace, and it's basically just a stool softener. It's not a laxative. It basically just helps smooth things out, keep things flowing, and it's really very helpful. Now you can buy the name brand Colace, which is great. I've used that. There's also a Amazon basic version that's even cheaper, and you can get 200 pills for around a little over $7. So it's a really great deal. It's really affordable. And again, highly recommended whether you've had surgery recently, you're going to have surgery, or you just want to have it on hand. It's really good to have on hand. Another item that's really important to have after surgery is calcium, specifically calcium citrate. I had a more aggressive surgery called a SATI. After any type of bariatric surgery, calcium is going to be really important to make sure you're getting enough. My bariatric center actually recommended these Bariatric Advantage calcium citrate chewy bites. They're kind of like the consistency of a Starburst, and I had to have 4 of them every day. After about a month, I could transition to pills versus just those chewables. And the chewables, they have lots of different flavors. They are pretty good, some of them. Those particular chewables were extremely expensive if I was going to keep having those as my only option. They're about $45 for a bag, and I need 3 of those bags to get me a 2-month supply of calcium for the amount that I needed. So then I found this calcium citrate on Amazon, and it's only $20 for 400 pills, which lasted me for 2 months. So a 2-month supply for $20 versus $135 from the chewable version was just a no-brainer. These calcium pills are very large, so you can cut them in half, but they are swallowable, they're not chewable, and they've been a game changer in terms of what I get from my calcium. So highly recommend, especially if you have a SATI or if you have a duodenal switch where you need lots of calcium. It can get really expensive to have other versions of it, so I really recommend these calcium pills. As with everything, definitely check with your surgeon or check with your doctor. Only use medicines and supplements and vitamins that they approve and clear you for. Now, if you have your Colace and if you have your calcium and your other vitamins, you're going to need something to organize and put that all in. And so something that's been really helpful for me is having a dedicated pill organizer. For me, I needed to take pills around 5 times a day. It was hard for me to find a 5 times a day pill organizer. There may be some more options out there, but when I was looking, I ended up going with a 4 times a day pill organizer. And the only thing that I had to take at the end of the day was iron. So I put that whole bottle next to my bed, and I would just take that iron before I went to bed. And then I used this pill organizer throughout the day to spread out the rest of my vitamins that I was taking. I set reminders on my phone, and I also highly recommend setting a designated time every week to put your pills in your pill organizer so that you just stay on track and on schedule moving forward. This is a really affordable and really important item that I use every day. The next item sounds a little random, but it was actually really helpful for me and my wife who also had bariatric surgery, and that is these portion control weight loss plates. They're smaller plates and they're divided into 3 sections, and I was not able to eat very much. So having a smaller plate that was divided where I could put my protein, my vegetables, and then maybe a little bit of starch or something like that, I could kind of portion out what was appropriate and keep in mind that my protein should be the biggest part of my plate, and then followed by veggies, and then followed by whatever else I had left, maybe fruit or maybe starch. And so having smaller bariatric friendly plates was actually really helpful. The next thing on the list is a designated kitchen scale. If you just had surgery, you really don't need to be worried about weighing out food and measuring that closely. You can just follow your body's signals. You're probably not going to be able to eat that much to begin with, so you really don't have to stress about that. I'm now 11 months post-op, and it's actually really helpful for me to be measuring my food and to know what I'm taking in. I'm tracking my calories, and I'm really trying to just be aware of what I'm putting in my body. So a kitchen scale has just been really helpful for me in measuring out my food, especially things like snacks, like popcorn or ice cream, or things that I don't want to have a ton of, and I want to make sure that I know how much I'm getting. This kitchen scale is only $11, and I've had several of these. They're really cheap and easy, and battery powered and simple item that I highly recommend. The next item that I'm going to recommend is an insulated cup for water and for just drinks in general. You can see here I have a 40-ounce Stanley cup, and I've found them very useful and helpful. My wife actually tried to get one of those bottles that tracks your water for you. It's like a smart water bottle. And she just found that it was cumbersome to keep charging, and for her, it just wasn't that helpful. So for both of us, we've kind of gravitated towards just large insulated cups that we fill up with water or with our beverage, and we're able to sip on that throughout the day. And if we know how much the cup holds, then we're just able to track that as to how many cups we have throughout the day. So kind of random, but an item that I recommend and I've used a lot over the past year. The last couple of things I wanted to talk about are more movement-based. The first one is a step tracker. Now, the one that I use is the Google Pixel Watch. The main thing I use it for is a step tracker. It's just a useful way to just have a baseline of what my activity level has been for that day. There are tons of options when it comes to step trackers. Pick whichever you think will work for you. If you don't have any smartwatches and you don't have an interest in a smartwatch, just a regular Fitbit like the Inspire 3 is a great option, and it's pretty affordable at $80. It will do other things, but the main thing that it's great for is tracking your heart rate and tracking your step count. It's nice to have step count as sort of a baseline that you can build off of. And the last item on the list is the newest item that I've just picked up over the past week, and that is the Spirax walking pad / mini treadmill. I picked this up because when I set my step count goal to 10,000 steps a day, I realized that as a person that works from home and has a mainly desk job, it was going to be really difficult for me to get out of my office and go out for walks enough to hit 10,000 steps every single day. There were going to be some days where that just wasn't possible, and I needed something that I could do at nighttime easily or maybe quickly on my lunch break, and that wasn't going to take a ton of time. I ended up picking this up, and so far I'm pretty impressed with it. It's pretty affordable for what you're getting. It's really lightweight, and it's just been useful as a tool to help me get towards my step goal. I'll probably end up doing a full review on the channel here at some point, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in just the general idea of a walking pad as something being useful for a fitness and health journey. So those are my 10 most essential items for bariatric surgery or just general weight loss. I'm sure I missed some, so if you have items that have been really helpful for you, please leave a comment below and let me and others know so we can all help each other. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. I'll be documenting my journey as well as my big push to losing 200 pounds by my 1-year surgery anniversary. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.